be up higher? Like seeing my hands like right here. Fucking.
Your fucking fingers look like giant fingers.
So, right here, I'm gonna set this like. Still looks weird. Here, give me a second.
It gives you the tiniest head. It's great.
Am I pulling a Craig Goliath?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get to my questions on my computer. I guess everyone who's watching the podcast now.
Welcome to episode 3.
Internet's down, so I'm using my phone. I'm trying to see if I can access the listener questions on my computer. Keep them occupied.
Do you have a list for competitor list for the Tampa?
No, but I've seen it. I just don't remember where.
I think Bodybuilders Without Borders had it. Yeah, I got it. I got it pulled up. What do you want to start with? Do you want to do Q&A last, or you want to do it first?
Let's just start with what you've been up to. It's been 2 weeks now.
Yeah, same old shit. a lot of the same, but I mean, consistency at the end of the day is kind of what matters. Just training, eating, sleeping, dealing with injuries.
I don't think you can access listener questions on the website.
That's dumb.
Seems very dumb. Because even when I go through my story, it's not on my story. Huh. And when I go to where I normally find it's not there. Am I able to do multiple shit on my phone at the same time? Right. Like here, let's test something. Yeah. If I do this, am I gone?
No, it's your really cool picture. So it's like you're still there.
It's not me. 1 second. I'm going to screenshot my questions and email them to me.
Yeah.
And then I'll pull them up on my email on my computer.
Say I wrote them in my notes so that I would have them.
Well, isn't that fancy? Here we go. Compose. I'm glad everyone can see how professional we are.
So I'll probably end up like we could probably start over and I'll just cut all this out.
Fuck that. We're
let it roll.
We're doing this.
All right, one take.
Because you can hear me, but you're seeing my picture, right?
Well, it's a cool picture.
That's even more cool. Which one is it? I don't know what's on there.
Most muscular.
Oh, good. Perfect then. Let's see if it's a bad picture, then let's fucking edit this out.
Right. So we're just gonna, from now on, we're just gonna do Cole's picture and a voiceover for every episode.
Okay, I think I got it. Boom. Now I'm back. Now to put this somewhere that doesn't make me look stupid, ridiculous. Man, I wasn't expecting this, man. I would have brought my tripod or something here. Oh,
it's not that bad.
How stupid do I look? That good?
You're good.
All right. That's good.
Well, let's roll.
Okay. So you were going over what you were doing.
Yeah, nothing.
A lot of the same.
Nothing's really changed. I haven't changed food. We haven't after we changed program 6 weeks ago or whatever, haven't really made any changes. We've tweaked some movements, but other than that, just working around, nicks and pains and bruises and shit. But otherwise, a whole lot of the same stuff, man. Just my weight keeps slowly coming down, which is kind of the plan for right now anyway. I'd like to get down to that 230. That's my new cutoff. I'd like to get down to that point, kind of assess, physique, where I'm weak, where I could use some more work, and then potentially readjust programming for another block. And then after that, it's prep basically. So it's not a whole heck of a lot of time when you really break it down. So
what's the next show?
I'm planning. I want to do New York. That's one that like sticks with me. Like I think that'd be a really cool show to do. Like I think it's on everyone's list at some
It
point.
would be, and I want to go there. Well, I don't
Right.
actually want to be around all the people in New York, but I want to see that show.
If it's even in New York,
It'd be awesome if it was in Tampa. We'll just take it to Tampa. I'd love to go there.
Right.
What was it in Tampa this year?
Yeah.
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 Maybe.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, wherever it is, like that's one show, and it's early in the year. So, it sets you up for opportunity to do multiple shows if need be. And in Classic, there's like a show every other weekend. So
there's a lot of shows that
yeah. So I'd like to go do a big one, just kind of literally jump in the deep end and see where I land. And then that puts something big in front of you to like motivate you to go for. It's a New York Pro, so it has a little bit of a name to it, which kind of gets me excited for it.
Cool. I am a lot of the same as well.
Yeah.
But Matt just increased my food, which means that I must not be too tubby yet. We not a bunch, but you up the fats, up the carbs. I'm not going to go over the numbers, but to give you an idea, some of the meals are at 180 grams of rice. That's the weight, not the amount. I'm so used to saying like cups and ounces because we say grams. A lot of people think, oh, you ate 180 grams of rice. That's the weight. Went from 180 grams to 250 grams, so a little bit of a jump. That's the majority of the meals. The carbs are definitely tapered on the last two meals. My last meal still has no carbs, but the fats went up in the last meal. So calories went up is the moral of the story.
Where's weight at?
My weight's been sitting at 260. I don't know, last 2 weeks. This morning I'm still 260. So no difference in the weight yet. So we'll see what happens. I check in every Monday. So honestly, the Monday morning weight's really all that matters, but I check it every day just to kind of like see where I get swings. Like I can tell, like usually post leg day, I'm a little higher. Obviously after a cheat meal, I'm a little higher. I also notice if I don't drink a lot, because when you have your cheat meal, sometimes you don't drink as much water. I don't know why that is, but I tend to slack on water a bit, and I'll actually be up in weight 2 days later, like massively.
Like a delayed response.
I get a delayed response. Like if I'm pretty tedious with my water on that day, and after my cheat meal, I make sure I slam extra water because cheat meals are typically loaded in sodium. That was causing a delayed reaction, but I thought that was neat. But if you weigh yourself every day, it doesn't have to mean that you're driving yourself crazy or OCD, but it's cool seeing patterns. And then getting ready for the 2022 USAs. Yep, it's a ways out.
What are you really getting ready for?
I'm getting ready for a pro show. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. We're not fucking around.
No.
So
big goals, big work. That's it.
The goal is the pro show after the USAs. That's the goal.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. I think Tampa's after it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, should we get into the topic that we want to go over today?
Yeah, I don't remember what it is though.
So we've done a good amount of the training. We kind of dove into the coach client relationship aspect. I think today we go food, talk a little bit of nutrition,
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like maybe how to potentially set up a plan. What are some things to kind of look for, how to measure some stuff, just kind of dive in from there. So if you get a client, what are, am I still there? You're just crooked.
Okay, I'm gonna stop fucking with this thing. Wait, whoa.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Well, I'm like, so on the computer, it's like a split screen, and like I can see me and you clearly.
Yeah.
In this view, oh, what did I just do? In this view, You're just you're massive, and I'm this little bitty little speck up in the corner of the phone. So, anyways,
So every podcast has to have their Paul, right?
I don't know what I'm doing.
So a client reaches out to you, right? Let's just go. Doesn't matter. Lifestyle, prep, it's irrelevant. When you first get information from, like, what are things that you're looking for as far as information to get, and what's like, how are you going to use that information to create a plan?
A nutrition plan. What you said, nutrition, right?
Yeah, food,
Yep. So for me, I have a little questionnaire, and it's going to ask, obviously, just name, age, height. So, because at this point, typically you haven't seen a picture, maybe know who they are, but whatever. It says it on there. And then it's what time they wake up, what time they eat their meals, or if they are eating meals. I usually ask for a detailed explanation of their nutrition and a detailed explanation of their current trains, see where they're at. But then it's when they wake up, when they go to bed, when they train, just so I can, and it depends on how green they are. Maybe like if it's like a lifestyle client, that's just we deal with more nurses, so I'll say nurse, but it's maybe I won't get into the meal timing. But if it's someone who's competing, that's why I'm asking those questions, is because I'm going to load carbs at certain times. We're going to put fats at certain times. I think meal timing with different nutrients can matter if the person is more serious, but if they're pretty relaxed, sometimes like I'll build it like if it fits your macros, but I'll let you hit on that.
Yeah, I mean, virtually the same. We kind of, especially with high grade, we tailor things to be very similar. So same as far as a questionnaire, I try and get a lot of that information. And really without that, you can't really give adequate information. Like I can't just look at somebody and just guess, hey, you need X, Y, Z. A lot of it is, where are you at? And then figuring, okay, where do we want to be? And how are we going to get there? Because you can't necessarily, a lot of the people that we get severely undereat. So
the goals matter. We have to ask that.
Right. And if I get somebody who is eating 850 calories a day, I can't just, even though I want them to eat 16, 17, 1800, I can't just go there. Like, I need to know where you're at to maybe get you to 1200, see how your stomach feels, and make sure you can handle the food, and then slowly progress up, eventually getting to where we want to go. But without that first initial information, there's just not much that we can really do. So that stuff is vital.
And I always want clients to know that I'm not purposely not changing the plan, but sometimes I've had people send me their nutrition and I send it back just in slightly a different format, maybe tweak 2 or 3 things. But I'm also not trying to like shock you.
Right.
Like I'm not like trying to like take away all the foods you currently enjoy. I'm not trying to take away, like you said, cut massive calories or add massive calories overnight. You just tailor up from where they're at. Obviously, if there's some stuff that's glaring, I'll change it.
Right.
But I'm not going to if there was breads or something in there and you're trying to lose weight, maybe I'm gonna cut out some stuff. Maybe I'll leave in some stuff. Yep. It really just depends on how you look, where you're at, what your goal is. If you got something to be ready for in 2-3 months, you might wake up and be like, holy shit, I have to do this. Yeah. But if it's just a lifestyle for years out, then we're going to go at it a little slower and make sure you can actually adhere to the program.
Yep.
However, if people want to know, like I have a formula I go by, and so maybe this will help people. Maybe this will make me irrelevant. I don't know. But either way, so usually I'll take someone if they're relatively not obese. This will work. Now I'm trying to think of it in my head to make sure I don't mess this up. But if it was 1 gram, say the person weighs 200 pounds and they're like, moderately lean or like skinny fat, they're not obese. 200 pounds, I would take 1 gram of protein times 200 as the base. And then depending on their goals, I'll go up to 1.2 or 1.5 even. And then carbs, same thing, kind of depends on how they look, but usually I'm gonna go at least 1 up to 2 times their body weight for carbs. And then fats, I usually do 0.5 times your body weight. That gets me in a ballpark. And then I wing it from there based on my own personal experiences with people on how they work with stuff. And then like, that's why we have the questionnaire, because then I can see how much fats and carbs you're currently doing. And then like I said, I can kind of tail it from there. But that's, if I have someone come into the fitness shop that has no idea what they're doing, and they're like, I'm eating stuff.
I eat
cool.
all the food.
I eat a lot of food. I get that a lot. I eat a lot of food. So then I'll do that formulation for them, and then I was telling them to that'll get them their macros, and I was telling them to split that up into 5 to 6 meals a day, like just evenly, because I'm not going at that point. That's free information. But if you were my actual client and you were giving me money to help you, then I would then put in the meal timings, and I would actually write out what foods to eat and give you like a grocery list. So that way, because like, let's be honest, chicken, lean turkey, fish, does it really matter?
No.
I don't think so. Now, if you're in prep, I would want you to eat the same thing purely based off of digestion.
Yeah.
So we know what's messing up your stomach and what's not messing up your stomach.
Agreed.
Otherwise, I would wait for a problem to arise down the line if it was just like a normal, like everyday lifestyle client.
Yeah, same.
What else you want to dive into with nutrition? What do the people need to know?
I would say, especially for like, we'll go with the lifestyle route just first. I think the meal timing for those types of individuals can actually be really important. More so just as a reminder, as a tool to like remember to eat, because typically lifestyle clients that we get don't eat. They'll eat like a yogurt in the morning, something maybe midday, and one big meal at night. So if you can kind of reinforce like, hey, at this break time, that's a meal time. So we turn that into a meal 2. Make sure when we wake up, we have meal 1. Making sure that you're taking that caloric value that we've set with that number parameter and divide that by 4 or 5, I would say, to start out if you can, or even get close to that, 5, 6. 4 might be a little bit tough on the stomach, but you know, like we've always said, 3 main meals and 2 shakes. There's no way that you can't get that in. That's pretty simple. So, you know,
You can't do that, I'm gonna call you lazy.
Yep. And then be able to, set that up according to your schedule. You know, if you know that you're going to be busy at work, know that may be the time for the shake. Don't do the shake when you're at home with free time. Do your regular meal that you have time to eat and prepare. Just being wise with your time. That's a big thing when it comes to nutrition, is making sure you're ahead of the schedule. Because if you're not ahead, you're behind. You know, having the food ready and prepared.
I guess that kind of goes into the meal prep as well, because a lot of people won't do that. If you don't meal prep, I don't know how you adhere to a plan. I couldn't. I have 3 kids. I got a full-time job, you know, bodybuilding, full-time bodybuilder. And if I didn't meal prep, there's just no way. So I have to bulk, and I'll just say how I do it. There's no right or wrong way, as long as you have the food cooked and you can eat it. But I'll cook all my meats up in bulk. I have a rice cooker. I mainly only eat rice for my meals anyways, so I make up a bunch of rice in bulk. And then every night when I get home from work, I take all the stuff I cooked up in bulk, which is like probably 3 or 4 days worth. I will then just portion that out for the next day. I also gotten in a habit of that, doing it every night instead of for the whole week, just because when you're working with a coach, sometimes stuff changes and I don't want to have to change a bunch of meals. So I'll just do it every night when I get home. If the food's cooked, it can take me 30 minutes or less, and I can have everything ready for the next day. And then obviously just be diligent, because you're going to know every 3 or 4 days you're going to have to cook again.
Right.
So make sure you have, I always keep extra. So when I go buy groceries, I buy what I'm cooking for that day, and then I put another portion in the freezer. And then when I'm getting close to out, I pull the stuff out of the freezer. And then when I go grocery shopping again, I buy 2, like double the amount each time. Always keep 1 portion in the freezer. So usually 5 pounds of chicken in the freezer, 5 pounds of chicken in the fridge, 5 pounds is cooked up that I'm currently eating through. And I just keep rotating. That way I never mess up. it happens. Quick side story. Last night, 8:00, open up my fridge. Matt changed it to 3 eggs. I only had 2. So my ass went to Quick Trip, and I don't live near one. So it was still 15, 20 minutes to go to Quick Trip and then come back and then cook up my meal at 8:00 at night. And some of you are listening to this and 8:00 at night. Blah, blah. My bedtime's 9. So it was very late for me. It was starting to get dark. So, but that's meal prep. If you can't do that, you are going to mess up for sure.
Invest in shit to make it easy. Rice cooker, air fryer, all that stuff, and make it easier, man.
I primarily use air fryer and rice cooker for everything. Granted, my oven is an air fryer, so maybe I'm cheating, but I can fit 4 sheets of chicken in there and then hit the air fry button.
That's slick.
I mean, it was definitely worth the, I don't know how much it cost, to be honest.
Who cares? It's cool.
Right. Look up an air fryer oven. Whatever that costs is probably what I spent.
Right. But with nutrition, what else is there to really dive into? I mean, we've tried to make it sound pretty simple, which to us it is, but it really can be.
It's the biggest thing is just creating the habits, right?
Yeah.
So you just need to, at first it could be rough, just cooking up the meals, prepping them. And at first you're excited. Wait till you're tired at night and you don't want to do shit. Then that's when it gets real interesting, trying to cook up all your food and do everything. But just don't get down on yourself. This is what I always tell people, because I'll have someone I missed meal 2. You can't miss meal 2. It doesn't exist. I don't know how you missed meal 2, but if you're supposed to eat at say you ate at 8 a.m. and then you're going to eat 3 hours later and 3 hours later and 3 hours later, and you miss that window and say it was 4 hours later, you still eat meal 2 at that 4 hours. And then you may just condense your meals a little closer together throughout the day or whatever you need to get them in. If anything, you're going to miss meal 6. Or, I mean, for me, I eat 6 meals. For you, whatever your last meal is. But that's the meal you're going to potentially miss because you're choosing either to stay up or go to sleep. So that's just a pet peeve of mine. Someone tells me they miss a random meal in the middle of the day. I'm like, I don't know how you did that. That doesn't compute.
Yep. It's get the food in your mouth. That's it.
Yeah, you have 24 hours in that day. I don't care how you get the food in. Preferably, eat every 2 to 3 hours just for digestion's sake. But you got to do what you got to do at the end of the day, especially if you're a competitor trying to grow. Yep. Sleep's important too. So that's where I do tell my clients, hey, if we're getting down to 5 to 6 hours of sleep and you still got another meal, then just go to bed. Right. But that also shouldn't happen every day, because now if that's that happens every single night, you don't want it bad enough. Yeah, now you made a habit of being wrong, of being bad. So we don't want habits of being bad.
And that's a lot for our lifestyle, I guess, to touch on prep clients as well. I get a lot of questions as far as food, right? Off season versus prep. What's different? There should be nothing different.
The amounts.
That's it.
Yeah, the amounts of food. Maybe certain foods you'll cut out first. Obviously in prep, you're cutting out. A lot of people cut out fruits or stuff that doesn't satiate you longer. They'll cut that stuff out first. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, it's all the same food profiles.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be oh, hey man, it's off season now. Yeah. Let's eat cake every day.
No. You're still a bodybuilder. That's
you're a 1/4 bodybuilder if that's your diet.
Yeah.
Or you're a genetic anomaly that can eat cake every day.
There's not many.
Not me. I'd be super fat.
Yeah.
No one's put genetics and Cole Eastwood in the same sentence ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're oh. As soon as you actually are big and stuff, and then they're oh, he's a genetic freak. But it only took him 10 years to put on 20 pounds of muscle.
Right. Yeah.
So I think we beat the nutrition to death. At that point, like guys, we kind of covered nutrition, how we meal prep. I gave you kind of a little bit of a formula there. So anyone listening, if you want to go further in depth and you have questions, just shoot us a DM. Otherwise, we both coach people. So if you need further in-depth help, just shoot us out a message and we can get you out that fancy questionnaire we got up.
Yes, sir. Well, should we hit Tampa?
You want to cover Tampa and then do the questions? Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I have to Bodybuilders Without Borders, right?
I think so.
I should at least be able to find that on my computer. Man, it is good that I'm using my phone. My internet's not doing so hot.
All right. So I found it. It just doesn't have
Charles?
yeah,
Charles is the only one
on.
missing from the original one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rolly's not doing it.
Right. So we got a lot of people I don't even know, but
well, let's go down the list, name everyone, and the people we know. Let's just give a kind of a breakdown, and then we can give our our top 5.
Yeah. So we have at least people that have just competed. We have Max Charles, who's just competed in Chicago. He was
he looked
5.
very good.
He looked good. He was a top 5 guy there. He's
three
coming.
to be exact.
Yep. We have that kid from Canada, that Aaron Gowley. He has a kind of an interesting physique, but he's relatively big, so he could do relatively good. Ian, obviously, I would put Ian as kind of a front runner going into the show. Yeah, being that he won last year. Joel Thomas finally competing again for the first time in a while. I saw videos of him. He looks kind of freaky. But
Joel Thomas has always been super muscular. I don't believe he's very tall, is he?
No, I think he's pretty short. But one of these days will be good enough to like put up who we're talking about.
Oh yeah, and I don't think anyone probably knows all these people.
No, but we have Dorian Haywood. He's done a few shows this year.
Dorian should be, I would assume, a top 5 guy based on this lineup. He's super dense. He's placed top 5 multiple times this year.
Be tough. We got Matt Kuba, Justin Mackey.
He went over Kevin Jordan.
Yeah.
He hasn't competed in quite a while, so this will be his time back.
Klahar, he did really well in Chicago.
I don't. What did he get in Chicago?
Or maybe it wasn't Chicago. God, what show?
Shaban got 4th. He's doing it. And then yes, Shaban, Joel Thomas, Ian Villaire, and Keith Williams. I haven't heard the name Keith Williams in a while. That's big Keith Williams. He was from Minnesota. I don't know if he was originally from here, but he used to live in Minnesota.
He hasn't competed in a while.
No, and he was never like a top tier bodybuilder by any means, but he was big.
Yeah.
And he usually came in condition. I think it was just more his actual shape was holding him back. What do you got though? What's your top 5?
So I'm just pulling the list back up. I kept trying to find this frickin' Philip guy and I can't find him. So I have Ian winning. I don't think anyone's really gonna push him for like that top spot. I think Ian's gonna have that, barring some crazy mishap with his physique, which I don't see happening.
Well, I mean, he's not the most consistent with the first show of the year.
That's true. That's true.
No offense, Ian, that you'll never listen to this, but yeah, he has. Oh yeah, okay. Philip Klahar. I pulled him up. But yeah, Ian bombed Tampa last year and then came back and did really good at the New York, and then came back even did better at the Olympia. So we do have to keep that in consideration. So,
but his bombing was still second
now
place.
They got it figured out, because Ian's not someone that you can just, at least for what it seems like, you can't just diet him down hard, no water. You know, if he's flat, he's way off. He needs to be full.
Oh.
And I don't think his condition wavers by filling up at all. He only looks better, because when he's flat, he looks downsized. He looks like he's like 4 weeks out then. So as long as they can bring him in nice and full, like, yeah, it's his show to lose by far.
Yeah.
What's your 2 spot?
2 spots, honestly, I think like 2 through 4, 2 through 5 could go any different way. And I
agree. Also,
so
don't forget about Charles Griffin. He's not on the list.
Right. And I think Charles is in that 2 through 4, 2 through 5 spot.
Place him.
Man,
no one's gonna listen to this. You can be an asshole.
Right.
You can.
I feel like Charles is. I mean, he's shredded. So he always brings detail. So I feel like Charles is going to edge out Max. I think it's between Charles, Max, and Shaban. Like those 3, they're all different. So like you could go one way or the other really with it, but Max doesn't bring hamstring conditioning or lower body conditioning. He has good shape, but
we know Charles will.
Right, and Charles gets dug out from the back. So as long as he has enough tissue to stand there, which he does, I think he's the only one that gives a better true comparison size-wise to Ian. So I would put Charles 2. I want to put Shaban 3. I don't know if he's finally gonna get tired or
Max beat Shaban in Chicago.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna root for him. I'm gonna put Shaban 3 and then Max 4.
Who's 5?
Man.
And people, please comment below with your top 5. I'm always just curious to see what other people's thoughts are.
I would probably give 5 to Klahar.
Okay. I'm gonna go. It's Ian's show to lose, so I'm stupid if I don't pick him first, because he. So this is curious. So I just listened to Fuad's interview with Charles Griffin, and he had said he beat Ian every time they competed against each other. And he said they competed against each other about 3 times. I cannot vouch for that because I'm not sure.
Right.
However, I don't think he's gonna lie about it. So he said he's beat Ian every single time they competed against each other. That's interesting, but also 7th at the Olympia, Ian has not been beat by Charles Griffin.
Yeah,
so I'm still going to put
a different Ian.
I just like Ian's physique better. Pale, blocky, white boy. I kind of, I can relate. So Ian's number 1, Charles is number 2. If Ian's off at all, Charles eats him. They're like, it's over. Ian cannot be off.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know Charles is on. I can see it. Ian hasn't released as much footage. Charles has been posting shit nonstop with Matt out there. Yeah. You can tell he's dug out. And he even mentioned in the thing that he's not eating very much right now. And he looks full as a house. Yeah. So I feel like he's going to be 100% on. 3, I'll go Max Charles. 4, Shaban. And then my 5 is going to be Dorian. I like Dorian. He's big. He's going to match up size-wise better. He's a little taller. And, he's been top 5 at about every show except for the last one he did. I think he dropped out of the top 5.
Yeah, he got like 8th or 9th, I think.
Yeah, so that was the only one, though. And I feel like whatever. I picked him. I said it.
Yeah.
We're going with it. But otherwise, I'm curious because then, honestly, you got a good – between Kevin Jordan, Matt Kuba, Justin Mackey, Joel Thomas, maybe some of these other guys that you said, Phil Klahar, that's kind of cool too, just to see who's going to win.
It's
Who's going to win the second call out?
It's a good second call out, actually.
It is. Yeah. And I'm just excited to see who's going to win that second call out is who's going to win that first call out. The second call out is probably more exciting because honestly, I have no clue. I think Kuba and Justin Mackey compete against each other in Chicago.
Yeah. Mackey placed higher.
Mackey placed higher. Yeah. So Mackey has a very good chance at winning that second call out. If I hurt anyone's feelings, I'd just prove me wrong. Just settle it that way. Prove me wrong. I will not hold any judgment against that. So that's our top fives, guys. Comment below with your top fives. If you follow bodybuilding. If you don't follow bodybuilding, I'm not really sure why you're watching this podcast.
Right. It's the truth.
This is for my sunny disposition. Is the 212 on here? Yeah. It's on the next slide.
Yeah. Oh, 212 is deep.
Holy crap, that's a lot of competitors.
Yeah. So we have guys doing the show.
Yeah, let's just give the people we actually know, because let's not, we're not good at this. Guys doing it. John Jewett doing it. Austin Carr's doing it.
Yeah.
Johnny Shreve, he just went down to 212. I only know some of these because I watched Fuad stuff.
Yeah.
So
Charles Curtis, he was classic, but he's done some 212. He looks really good. Aaron Clark is doing a show. He's always in shape.
Aaron Clark's doing. He's going to be shredded. Is his midsection good? Right. To be honest, not trying to call him out, but if his midsection's good, he's got a really good physique, and he's placed very high at shows before. So you can't count him out by any means. But I think in the first call out, you're going to have Aaron Clark, Guy Cisternino, John Jewett. I think Austin Carr could be in that first call out.
I like his physique.
Austin Carr has an awesome physique. I just don't know how
crazy.
How well does he line up against like a John Jewett on stage? Because we know John's going to be probably one of the biggest guys there because he's at the top of the weight class. I know he says he's going to come in fuller. He's shooting for like the 212 mark.
Yep. Which is a good look for him. I just like pure shape and like aesthetics.
Well, he's diced.
Carr is crazy.
I want to see John win 100%.
I agree.
That's 100% bias. I like John. I like his physique. Same thing. I can relate with him. He's been battling it out every show. I don't know how he's dieted this long and has held his conditioning and like just insane. So
he's still alive.
I would love to see him pull the win on this.
Yep.
And then I'd like to see Austin Carr get rewarded. And then Aaron Clark. And who else do we say?
We got Guy in there.
Guy, Cisternino. So those four will battle it out, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good top four.
It's a good top four. Guy Cisternino seems to win a lot of shows, but to be honest, this is deep. I have John winning. I'm gonna go Austin Carr 2, Aaron Clark 3rd, Guy Cisternino 4th.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'll put Guy 3rd and Clark 4th. I just don't think Clark's gonna have. Guy has good shape. Austin has good shape, and John poses well to have good shape, especially when he pulls his vacuum. Clark he'll be the only one that stands out that doesn't have that kind of a shape. So I feel like they'll kind of stick the group in that kind of is similar, give them a comparison.
Yeah. Aaron Clark might stand really good next to John, though. They're both a little thicker. I'm pretty sure Clark is going to be at the top of the weight class.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything. I'm going based off of what I've seen him at his best. So,
yep.
All right. Anyone who is sick of hearing us ramble about shit that we don't know as much about, that is over. We'll do some questions now.
Yeah.
I will just toss out some of these. We're on the last one, so I'm going to just bypass them because there's one about sweeteners. We talked about that.
Yep.
all I'm going to say about sweeteners is if you have them in all off season and they're not causing stomach issues, and then you have them in through prep and they're not causing stomach issues, you're not holding water, you're diced, why pull them? I don't see any reason. I typically myself like to pull them 1 week out just because my stomach gets super sensitive that close to a show. Just trying to minimize any extra shit I'm putting in my stomach, and that's really it. You want to touch anything on that?
I'm the same. My stomach gets really sensitive on prep, so I usually try and pull it a little earlier. 2.5, 16 to 20 days. But other than that, I mean, I still keep them in as long as I can.
You go. You pick. We'll go every other.
All right. We'll start with this one. If you could lift with anybody in history, dead or alive, doesn't matter, who would it be?
Am I going first?
You go first.
Jay Cutler.
I
don't have to think about it. I grew up watching Jay Cutler. I got all his DVDs. They're still downstairs in my cabinet. I still have them. I would love to lift with Jay Cutler in his prime, specifically 2001 Jay Cutler. I would love to train with him the entire prep. That would be awesome.
Rock a little bandana.
Yeah.
Cool. A little headband.
His look.
Yeah. That's a good one. I go back and forth. I didn't really grow up watching a lot of Jay. So mine, I guess, would be between Arnold and Dorian. One or the other. I could flip a coin.
Yeah, I would have loved to grown up in the early 90s, late 80s, Venice Beach, Arnold era type stuff. That would have been really cool.
Yeah. Most definitely. That would be my go-to.
We'll pick one. God damn it.
I'll go Arnold.
So goddamn generic. Okay, Arnold it is. I feel like they trained way too fast and way too high rep. I don't know if I could hang based on how I train.
Oh, I'd be toast.
There was a
try to convince them to train my way.
Right. Bring some. I think I would do better train how Dorian trained, but Dorian scares the shit out of me, so I don't think I could do it.
That's what makes that's what gives it the mystique, though.
Right.
Just to survive one day with Dorian.
True. I'm still going with Cutler. So I'm just going to ask this question. I don't really have as much in depth on some of this stuff, but it's thoughts on GHRP6, which is a peptide.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of peptides, to be just flat. Unless it's for a true rehab recovery basis, then I think they have their place. But as far as taking IGF and GHRP and things like that to try and gain some sort of an advantage, it's so minuscule that if you were to just do the right regular shit right day in and day out, it wouldn't matter. So I don't take them personally. I don't usually put them in programs. If someone wants to go for it, hey, sweet, we'll try it. But it's not something that I typically push. I don't see when you look risk reward, I don't see a lot of the benefit.
So I've ran GHRP6 with CJC at one point. I also was running growth hormone.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was probably irrelevant. The idea behind it with who I was working with at the time with a coach is that we were going to see if we could take less growth hormone. Obviously, this stuff was way cheaper and get a similar effect. GHRP6 plus CJC is going to equal how many IUs of actual growth, kind of output for IGF, yada, yada, yada. If you can just afford real growth,
take it.
You're 100% better off just taking that. Now, if you can't afford that and you want to fool around with some GHRP6, I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't work. It's just probably harder to find legit GHRP6 just because there's so many peptide places on the market now and who to trust, not who to trust. So But yeah, if you can get real growth, I don't see any reason why to even mess with that stuff.
Yep.
All right,
My
you
turn.
go. Your turn. Tag, you're it.
It was a simple one: chocolate or vanilla.
No context behind it, just chocolate or vanilla.
Straight chocolate or vanilla.
So, not to make this
Here we
this
go.
a hard question.
Okay, Fua.
But like, there's a big difference, man. Like we're talking protein powders. I'm gonna say 90% of the time it's chocolate. If I'm talking currently about like, because I'm with Labrada Nutrition, this has been one of the only times I obviously got the chocolate first. They have a chocolate and vanilla hydro, and I was like, oh, chocolate's pretty good, blah blah blah. And then one day I was like, I gotta try the vanilla just so I can let people know. And then I was like, holy shit, this is good. Kind of like more cake battery. I don't even know what to call it, but it's not it's way better than just a plain ass vanilla. They're not doing themselves service with that name. But that time I'm like vanilla for sure, 100%. If I had to choose a hydro from Labrada, vanilla is better than the chocolate. Otherwise, about every other brand on the market, I would say chocolate's better. If we're not talking protein, and I don't really know what we're talking about, then I'd probably still pick chocolate. Like if we're talking malt shake, going chocolate. If we're talking though, like with chocolate chip cookies, we're going vanilla. Man, I can just keep going on. But is it with chocolate chip cookies?
No cookies, just ice cream. Are you going chocolate or vanilla?
Typically chocolate.
Really? See, I go vanilla with that, but I'm chocolate with everything else.
But if it's chocolate chip cookies involved, I got the chocolate already in the cookies, so I go vanilla.
Yeah, they don't just automatically come with it.
They do for me. They are a pair. They
not one without the other.
If I go to like get a Blizzard, I typically get the chocolate based ones, like the brownie batters, or like I like the cookie dough is really good. Yep. So I think that's more of a vanilla base, but then there's chocolate in it. So like, you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah. But you can't be in the middle though. So
I know. I'm making this question way too hard. I'm just saying it's chocolate.
Okay, I'm chocolate. I'll make it easy. I'm not a big vanilla fan.
It just depends, man. There's a lot of context into this. I take my food very seriously. Which one do I? So correlation between. This is from the Bearded Gorilla. Correlation between conditioning and mind-muscle connection.
I mean, the better you can control the muscle, obviously, the more activation you're going to get from it. So over the course of time, if the diet is there, it'll lead to you'll see more. It won't really necessarily bring conditioning. I mean, you got to kind of be fat free for that, for conditioning.
Right. But if you do have a very good mind to muscle connection with the muscle, it grows better, in my opinion, which therefore would bring out more detail once you are fat free.
Correct.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
So
we just broke that down. Yeah.
There's a correlation, but you have to be fat free. That is the caveat.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, mind muscle is, I think, huge.
You should have it either way.
Yeah, just for training in general. And I think a lot of even like regular people could benefit from this. And I've had a lot of people start doing it, is posing. Like, what better way to figure out mind muscle than to try and like isolate and flex it instead of trying to worry about doing it in a workout or on a machine. Just try and pose, because it's not easy.
Isn't that funny when you get a super athletic person and they can't like contract like certain muscles?
Yeah.
Like, dude, trying to get someone to do a lat spread.
Oh man.
Even if they're athletic, and dude, like how like pull your lats out, and they're like they can't do it. They can't do it. It's crazy. Yeah, so having a good mind to muscle connection, I mean, technically, if an athlete had better mind to muscle connection, they'd probably be able to move better, and they'd probably be better on the field or whatever their position is. So I think, I mean, it could go with everything.
Yep.
All right, what you got? Yeah.
Your favorite and least favorite training day.
Ooh.
Right.
So this has changed over time, but right now, Back's probably my favorite because it's challenging, but I still really enjoy it. And I see the most progress there because it's the shittiest. My least favorite is arms, which if you were to ask high school Cole loved to train arms. But now it just,
with our current split, what's your least favorite day? Because we don't have an arm day.
chest, shoulders, triceps, biceps, all of them.
Just all the above suck.
Yeah, I hit them all. I guess the shoulder and tricep one is worse than the chest and biceps.
Yeah, I would agree. That's like within our split, that's my least favorite. I just don't like training shoulders. Like that would be my least favorite for sure. I've never,
Which shoulders
never
are
felt
a
good.
dominant body part for me, so I should love to train them, but I just don't. And
Yeah.
maybe that's why. It's because they grow very easily, so it's like boring.
Yeah.
Whereas the back is like challenging, so I actually have to put some time and effort and really focus on mind and muscle contraction. Whereas like shoulders, I'm like load it up, man. Let's just fucking pound it out. I'm good to go. They'll grow.
Yeah. I've always had shoulder mobility issues. So like shoulder day has never been comfortable, but
I didn't until fucking today. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Now
That's a story. That's a story for another time. But hopefully it'll be better here soon.
But favorite days, I would say leg day. Usually. I'd put back in there, but back days lately, my hip's been kind of a pain in the ass. So it hasn't been very fun to train back, but leg day hasn't usually caused too much issues. So that's usually it's between legs and back are my two favorite, but right now legs.
I'm just looking at the time and it's time to eat, but we'll let it go another 30 minutes. We took too long to get on the fucking get on here and start recording. My turn.
Yeah.
So I kind of like this one is how to maximize rebound 3 days post show and want to make the most of it. This is Ramirez 9565 that asked that. And I'm currently kind of in that phase. So that's why I like the question. Yeah. I've done the dirty bulk or whatever, the dirt, like post show and ate whatever I wanted. Just a cheat meal every day, something different every day. Gain 50 pounds in like a couple weeks. I don't recommend that. Health-wise, it's not good. Your physique, I feel like if you reverse diet and kind of like stack it where, you know, let's say, because like right now, I went from roughly let's say 235 on stage. I'm kind of rounding up, but then I'm 255 within 2 weeks. That's 20 pounds up. Like that's quite a bit of weight. I'm up 20 pounds. So I'm going to wait for my body to then stagnate a little bit and then add more food, which that's what me and Matt have been doing anyways, but that's what I prefer. And then add some more food and then just keep going up. And then once you get up to then you can also see how your body fat's going to accumulate. And then you can then easily pull back when needed and then try to keep your body weight, 30, 40 pounds above stage weight. And then obviously you want to be in a caloric surplus, which you are at that point. Yeah. And then the other way, I think it's just too hard on your body. You hold so much water, you get bad back pumps, your training's going to suffer. I just don't feel like it's optimal. Whereas like right now, man, I wake up in the morning, I still feel full as a house all day long. And now it's been 6 weeks, maybe 7, going on 7 weeks. Usually by now I'd be like blown out and bad back pumps and training suffering and yada yada. So yeah, I would say reverse dieting is the best way to do it. Just don't restrict yourself so much. Like I said, just keep your weight moving up at a steady rate.
Yeah, I tend to like for myself and for clients to kind of keep things a little bit, tight to the chest. So usually like if you have a coach, follow obviously their protocol that they're giving you, which usually is some sort of a reverse diet out of it. But if you don't, like rule of thumb is go to like your 6-week out diet and start there, have a free day or whatever, and then start there. So you have a plan. And reduce cardio to like 30 minutes, 4 or 5 days a week. And then just assess your physique. You'll go from there and just see what happens. If you start accumulating, like you said, body fat too fast, no, maybe I need to just move my food around a little bit, pull back, add a little more
It-
cardio.
And your appetite is going to be through the roof no matter what you do.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Eat all the food, restrict your food, you're still that hungry. It took me 4 weeks for my appetite to even back out.
Yeah, and that's being able to ignore that, after the show. That's where you need to
I mean,
have
it's hard.
you have to have the big goal. You can't just have just that show, or you'll break down.
That's why it's like, what are you doing next? 2022 USA. It's why, because I need a goal. Otherwise, I'm going to eat everything in sight and be a fat ass because I'm really good at that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where goals come in, right?
Got to have them. I don't care how far it's out. Now I know I need to be better in 1 year from now. I have to be.
Yep.
Your turn.
My turn.
Okay, go.
Let's get deep with this one.
Oh, I don't want to go deep.
Would you rather live in space? So if you only have a choice, like one or the other. Earth is fucked. So
Earth is fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are either going to live in space.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yep. We're toast. So you're living in space, or we have a colony in the ocean. Which one are you going to?
So the ocean scares the living shit out of me. There's stuff down there. I'm not saying there ain't stuff out in space, but like the little green man doesn't scare me near as much as like what the hell is down there, like megalodons and Cthulhu and whatever other weird shit like people have came up with throughout the years of what's hiding down there. And I think we've probably discovered more because we've never seen the bottom of the floor ocean. I think I'm correct on that. I don't think we've never been down there. We don't know.
We studied like 10%.
Like space, I could just go up to like where the moon is. We've been there. We know it's there. I could go live there. So there's some.
But I mean, there's drawbacks, right? Like,
I mean, Atlantis is pretty cool, right? Is that kind of what we're talking about?
I mean, it'd be like that with like underwater boats.
Like I could be Aquaman.
Kind of like the Megalodon movie, they got like the little like colony. Kind of like
so you're either
spaceships.
in a space station or you're in a water station.
Yeah, one or the other.
I don't know if water station is the correct term.
It sounds right.
It is now.
Which one are you going with?
I'm going with space. I also like if I'm going to watch a movie and I had one where they're underwater and I had one there in space, I'm watching the one about them in space. So purely based off of that obviously intrigues me more. So I'm gonna have probably more fun, and we're going with that.
See, it's the same, because if you're that far underwater, it's dark, it's black, so you can't see shit anyway. No. So even if there is crazy stuff out there, you won't see it. And in space, it's all black.
Dude, I have anxiety right now thinking about it. I couldn't be down there. I'd have a goddamn panic attack.
I think I would
sharks, dude. A normal sized shark scares the shit out of me. I'm in their domain. I don't function well in water. I don't swim well. Like if I got outside of the pod or whatever, and a shark came up, I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm going water though. I belong on Earth, wherever I am. It doesn't matter. I don't belong in space.
Well, yeah, you got that. I mean, I'll just be a spaceman, dude. People love astronauts. I'm officially an astronaut if I do that, right?
But are you an astronaut? Like,
I don't know. I guess if everyone's up there, then it is
like
good.
It's
like everyone go with me. Do I get to like pick just a few people to bring with, and everyone else dies, or what are we doing?
No.
You ever seen that show? Was it the 300? Like that? Like we go up to the space station, and then like the world gets decimated, and then we come back down to Earth.
Yeah.
You haven't seen that show?
No, that's a good one. It was good. It turned out to be kind of crazy at the end. But
I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons, and then I got kind of weird, and I haven't watched it since.
Yeah. Your turn.
My turn. So let's keep on the same type of questions. I got one here similar. Never leave your state or never come back to your country. What do you do?
Oh man, I mean, right now, I wouldn't mind going potentially to another country, but
I mean, I don't know if it's that much better than any other country.
Right. I mean, is Florida a different
Dude,
country?
No, like the UK, like
Uh,
Canada, Australia.
no, all of those suck right now.
I know, I know, I know.
No. So, I mean, current times, probably
If
never
this
leave the
wasn't
state.
if this wasn't current times, this might be a different answer.
This
But we
would
gotta
be
go with
different.
what we're rolling with right now.
Current times, I'd rather be stuck in this state, unfortunately.
Minnesota's so awesome. We have
Yeah.
seasons. We have
Right.
seasons. We have the Vikings.
There we go. That's about it.
We have a really cool state bird, the loon.
Yeah, but
Right.
we don't even have water down by us, so we don't even have loons.
Yeah, but I go up north. I can travel within the state.
Yeah.
I can go see them. That's
Fair
what I
enough.
want to do. That's
Fair
what
enough.
I really want to do. I could do that. This question doesn't say I can't go see the state bird. Yeah, if it's current times, I'm not leaving the state because all the shit I keep hearing about in Canada and Australia and the UK, that does not sound fun. I mean, the States isn't like that great either, but it's better than that because our states have a lot of power. I mean, we all know what happened with the Brits before. Like, let's just leave it at that.
There's a reason we're separated.
Yes. Yeah, we're Americans. We're a little crazy. We don't listen to people. But honestly, if this wasn't this current time, I'd pick never come back to this country because I think it'd be really cool to go live somewhere else.
Yeah.
I would probably pick the UK, and I would probably pick somewhere near like James Hollingshead so I could go train with him. Just saying.
Yeah. Is that the dream?
Your turn.
I think I got one more. If you could have any vehicle, no matter, so money's not an object. Any vehicle, whatever the cost, what would it be?
That's a hard one.
But you also still live in Minnesota.
Oh. And this is like my daily driver, just anything.
I mean, you could be the guy who just has it and parks it, but
okay, well that matters because like if I say I'm gonna get a Ferrari and it's my only car I have in Minnesota, I'm currently like fucked.
And you'd be put into the douchebag category.
Well, that and then like winter comes, like okay, I now have a really
douchebag driving his Ferrari in the snow.
I know I wouldn't pick a Ferrari. I wouldn't pick that either way, but I would probably honestly. I'm not really on those big fancy cars like that. I would pick like a I'm trying to think. I would go with something from Dodge, like the Hellcat. If it was only one vehicle I could have and I had to drive in the winter, I'd get that new TRX. So that thing's badass. Yep. And if I could get anything I wanted, I'd get the wide body Hellcat Challenger. Just because that's really in my opinion, the only still muscle car on the market. Everything else, like, Mustangs went to like more of a sports car. Camaro's more of a sports car. And now I think it's fun to drive a sports car, but that's not really my style. I don't think I'd look very good. I won't fit very good.
Oh yeah.
I want something that's going to go straight and really fast. I feel like that's a good track car.
Yeah. So I have high taste, but I want a Bentley. Like, I feel like it's a natural fit,
I mean, it's got your last name on the car, so
right.
I mean,
but it's not practical. But I don't care. If money's not an issue, I don't need to be practical, and I want a Continental GT.
There we go. I don't even know what that is.
It's pretty sweet.
It's
like a V12.
But is that like a bigger, fancier, or is that like a two-door sports car?
Two-door. It's a two-door, but it's not like it's not small like a Porsche. Like it's.
So if I was gonna go with one of those big fancy cars like a Mercedes or a Bentley or something like that, I'd want like one of the big 4-door luxury, like something like that.
You're like the Rolls Royce guy.
Yeah, Rolls Royce would be super nice. Like I can go something like that, but still, like I don't know. Maybe it's just because I couldn't fathom spending the money on that. That's why I'm going with like the under $100,000 Hellcat, something that hey, this is feasible. I can have this.
Pretty sure last time I looked at like the Continentals, they were like 350 or 360.
Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah.
All right, my turn. Let's do a couple more. One I should probably touch on because about 5 of my questions were of sorts. It's any regrets about not doing the USA's. The super win / overall win could have been very likely. So I've been getting this a lot. A lot of people don't know why I didn't do USA's this year, or they want my opinion on it. When I got off the stage at juniors, me and Matt made a plan. The plan was the 2022 USA's. It was pretty simple. He goes, "Do you have a pro physique? Could we go win USA's this year? And then could you do a pro show?" Absolutely not. I don't think so. With 1 year of how I've been progressing lately, I think I can get on a pro stage. So the whole goal is not so much to chase the pro card this year, is to chase the pro physique. I feel redundant saying that, and I've heard, oh shit.
Yeah, there it is, right?
Boom. All right. Phone's dying. I got 20% battery left. So and I don't have a charger. Well, do I have a charger? Here. Professional. I just need to move this back towards the charger. Shit. This is such a tiny cord. What the hell? Besides that. Boom.
Sweet.
Got it. Anyways, so that was the plan. We said it right. We got off stage. I have no regrets. After seeing the USA's, do I think I could have been competitive? Absolutely. I feel like my junior look could have been right up there with those guys. But I'm not going to take anything away from them and, who got pro cards and who did well and yada, yada. Like, it is what it is. And I'm happy for all those guys. So they were the ones that showed up. They're the ones that put in the work. I will be there next year. So I'm not good at being cocky, but if you show up next year, you're going to have some, I'm going to be hard to deal with. So be aware.
Yep. Mic drop.
I'm not good at being serious, but I'm coming. And I got a fire lit under my ass like no other. I'm okay. Do you got any more? Are you done with questions?
Yeah, I think that was all the ones I wrote down. Yeah.
All right, this is another one. I just want a quick one. Top 3 quad exercises.
Just for
you would have picked 3 exercises for your quads. Which 3 are you doing for the rest of your life?
Oh man, I would do a close stance leg press. Trying to keep tension on the quad.
I mean, you only have does leg press just count? Does it have to be a close? Is that like, do we have to pick 3 specific exercises or like 3 pieces of equipment that we'd work with?
I don't know. We'll do pieces of equipment. Well, movements, I guess. Because
just do 3 pieces of equipment. Because if you have it'd be so
leg
stupid.
Press.
Like you have a leg press, but you can only do narrow, and you can never vary it from that. Like,
yeah. But if you want quads, fucking do narrow.
Quads closer together, further down. Yes, science.
So leg press.
We do that from time to time.
Leg press would for sure be 1. Leg extension would for sure be 2.
Okay.
And then for quads.
Well, what do you think? I'm gonna stop you there. A lot of people don't think leg extensions are even necessary. I keep hearing this over and over.
I mean, I mean, yeah, we could debate all day on that, really.
You also don't. You just straight up tell people, I don't fucking care. I'm fucking
That's
doing the leg extensions.
that's part of where I'm at. Like, I'm gonna fucking do it because I feel it and I think it works. So, but I mean, truthfully, if you hammer your quads, they'll develop. I just feel like
Right.
the way that you do movement patterns and your tempo can change the way the tissue is built. Like, tissue doesn't just always go on the same way no matter what. Like, your style of training makes a difference. That's why you have bodybuilders and strongmen, they don't look the same. Their training is drastically different, so their physique looks drastically different. The food isn't always all that different. They may eat a little bit dirtier, but
no, but like powerlifters typically don't have large legs regardless of body fat levels.
But they're strong as shit.
They're strong.
Yeah. So the way you train does make a difference in how you look.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's why I would put leg extension in there. Just I can slow it down and squeeze it and feel it. But other than that,
so essentially, you want an isolation for your quads, and you like leg extensions for that. And anyone who has a problem with that can take a walk.
Yeah, leave it in the comments, and then I'll destroy you in it. And then I would probably put a hack squat.
Yeah,
as my other option.
Yeah, I'm going hacks. They're my favorite. Mainly due to with the knee issue I've had, the hacks is more universal. I think it's better for I popped a rib out on a hack, so I'm not going to say it's going to protect your back. Last time I put 16 plates on a hack, man, my rib just exploded. But I'm able to put my knees in a position, and with my one knee being bad, that's why I do Smith squats too, is you're able to put your leg in a position, and then it's less likely to lunge forward on you. So you can go straight up and down. So I'd pick a hack squat as my number one. Number two is going to be a leg press. Obviously, we already covered stance on there, but my second machine would be a leg press. And lunges.
The other one I was going to put was sissy squat.
I would say lunges are a variation, like a Bulgarian hack squat. Those suck. Yeah. John Meadows, the way you program the drop set from hell or whatever you call it, they suck.
Yeah, drop set of death.
And they suck in a great way. Also, side note, if you do have knee issues, do Bulgarian split squats. You can position your knees specifically. And I never like when we had to do that because of lack of equipment at the gym right away. I think that's why my knee got better. Because my knee feels pretty good now. Now that we've been doing Smith squats and going heavy again, I've had a little bit more pain in it. But I think throwing in Bulgarians like every other week or once a month is gonna be something we'll probably do. Just because
being able to utilize too, like the prime wedges, like those, I know for myself and for clients have made a difference in being able to create the angle that you want. If you're getting knee pain, just elevate your heel a little bit and see if that helps. Go vice versa. You'd be surprised. Those little angles might take the tension off the spot that's painful.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know where else I was going with that. Let's do one more question.
Yeah.
I wish I had a really good one. I don't have a really good one. Man, a lot of these are about gear.
Are they any good?
No, I mean, they're not bad. Just, I don't know if I don't want to end this on like a gear note. All right. Pink salt. Well, we'll do two. We'll do one gear. Have we done anything about gear?
I mean,
no.
GHRP, but that's not really gear.
Peptides doesn't count. What's your preference about off-season cycles from? Oh man, dude, I don't even know. Like this thing's like got everything in the alphabet. I'm not gonna try to do his name. What's your preference about off-season cycles?
Like a compound or compounds, I guess.
I just say if you had to like your preference, if you had to like right now do an off-season cycle, or even what you would do, period, just like what would you do?
So test as a base, obviously that's number one. I would the other compound I like to add in would be EQ. At a relatively moderate dose. I seem to react pretty well to EQ. Um, and then adding in a lot of times I'll add in NPP with that just for a little bit of extra kind of a boost. And then typically I add an oral to kind of front that, usually Anatrol. And then anti-estrogens with that as well, and then growth. But that would be like the main, I guess, like when I think of like a go-to cycle that doesn't let me down, that's usually
if it's your first cycle, don't listen. Plug your ears.
don't do that.
Earmuffs.
This is off season thinking as if you are a competitor. Like this is what you do.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So for me, a base test, anything else, but just stay away from harsh stuff because you're probably gonna have to use that for prep.
Yeah.
Like don't fuck yourself up in the off season. Like if you're like it's off season, I'm gonna take a shit ton of tren. I think you're stupid. Like that's not a good idea. So take something that you're just gonna react well with. That's not gonna be super hard on your blood work. And then so you got your base, throw in one other thing that you're gonna respond well with, and then throw in an oral, but just run it for 4 weeks. Same thing. Don't tell me you're taking 200 milligrams of Anadrol. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, don't do that.
So I feel like the off season you shouldn't be putting your body under extreme duress because prep, for one, dieting, and then you are going to have to take certain things usually during prep. I mean, you don't have to, but usually people are going to. Yeah. And I'd rather save my body for something like that than run a bunch of crazy shit during my off season. I want to feel good. I hate feeling stuff. I don't want to take something and then feel it. Yeah. It's like pre-workout. People take like pre-workouts and they want to feel cracked out. I don't want to feel my pre-workout. Like I don't want to like feel my hair moving. I don't want to like see stuff like dots and whatever. Like I'm all cracked out on caffeine. I don't want to feel it. So I want to be able to take it, get stronger, feel really good, strength and minimal, because a lot of that stuff like can cause, back irritation, lower back pumps, the horrific lower back pumps people talk about. That's also usually associated with eating probably too much food, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But so just take something that's going to make you feel good, and that's not going to totally mess up your blood work. Usually, like I said, a base, one other thing, maybe an oral. That doesn't need to be crazy. Your body needs to be healthy in order to put on tissue.
Right. Keep stress, like internal stress and cortisol low.
Yeah. That stuff. Anyways, last one. Pink salt. Why is it preferred over regular sea salt?
Tastes better. That's it.
Actually,
that's like my honest answer though. Like,
I just like the taste. I like the way when it touches my tongue. I like the way
you get different minerals and all that good fun jazz. But
yeah, from my knowledge, don't get me wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. Regular sea salt has some minerals, but I believe pink sea salt, and the reason why it's pink is it has more minerals. And we know that we don't drink distilled water. We don't drink purified water. If you do, you're wrong. Don't do it.
It's gross.
Stop. It's gross. You're going to drink spring water because it has minerals. Because when you sweat out minerals. When you drink plain water, you don't put minerals back in. So spring water, I don't know how I got on water, but spring water,
it was
going to do that. Now. Spring water. And then, but pink sea salt is going to be on the same aspect. I don't think regular sea salt's bad, but pink sea salt has more nutrients in it. So therefore it's better, just like how I was explaining water.
Yep.
If I'm wrong, put it in the comments and I'll take it under advisement.
Right. Either way, we prefer it. So we're going to use it.
Oh yeah. I'm going to use it 100%. The taste is better.
Yeah. It's different.
So yeah, hopefully that answers that. So we've probably been on here way too long.
Yeah, it's food time.
So let's wrap this shit up. Podcast
So,
episode 3.
We got some exciting stuff coming for this podcast, but we're not going to tell them what it is yet.
Should we just? Oh,
We'll keep doing these little like subtle hints like this.
so the next one, because I think on the last one, the next one we're gonna have a guest.
Yeah.
The next one we're gonna have a guest.
Yeah, we meant to say the next.
Yeah. We were just trying to get you all riled up. We were kidding, but the next one we're gonna have a guest.
Yeah,
and
we clickbaited before. We
Yeah.
we won't clickbait this time.
But the guest, I'm warning them already. They're staying on the whole time. They're going to answer questions with us.
Yes.
And then we'll kind of like bypass us and the shit we talk about in the beginning, because no one's gonna care about us at that point. And we'll just do a little interview with them so people know who they are and what they're doing. And then we'll get in.
Do we give any hints?
He's a current competitive bodybuilder.
Pro or amateur?
Sure. He's a bodybuilder.
Is he a pro or an amateur?
Oh, you want me to tell him?
Yeah, just
the
that
current
way they know.
Pro. It's a current pro bodybuilder, and he's competed recently and done fairly well.
I wonder who it could be.
Let's just say he's better than both of us at bodybuilding pro. So
yes. Yeah.
So people would probably rather listen to what he has to say over our shit. And that's why I asked him. Plus, he's probably the only current pro bodybuilder doing well that would get on our podcast and talk with us.
Exactly. That's the truth.
So do with that what you will.
Yep.
You could, let's have fun.
People guess it. Yeah.
So we want to comment your top 5 for the Tampa Pro, and then I want you to comment who you think our guest is. If you get the guest right, I'll send you a free tub of Labrada Pro pump. How about that? You also have had to watch this whole damn podcast to get this far to even get in the giveaway.
Right.
That I just made up. I made it up right here, right now. I don't even, like, it's a phone. I don't know where the fuck the camera is on.
That's good.
I'll send you a free tub of the pump from Labrada Pro. And it's probably going to be green apple because that's my favorite. And I think that's all I ordered.
Right. So if you don't like green apple, then fuck you.
And that's how we're going to end the podcast. I'm out.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, turn it off so you can actually.
We got to actually turn it off. All right.
turn it off. Leave. I'm out of here.